Hello. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you're having an iconic day, a passion filled, purposeful day, getting things done. As you can tell from behind me, I'm a voracious reader, love to read books, love to learn, love to explore new thoughts. I read a lot of things that I don't necessarily agree with, a lot of things that I agree with, but the purpose is to expand the mind and my mind and to really learn from great thinkers and thought leaders. I go all the way back to reading Confucius and Marcus Aurelius, way back in those days, all the way through current thinkers and current thought leaders. I think it was Confucius, and I'm going to paraphrase a little bit here, that said, you always have to find time to read and to learn. And if you don't, you're going to surrender yourself to self chosen ignorance. So always find time to read and to learn, even if it's 5 minutes a day right before you go to bed. I want to bring to you today a book that I'm reading called Bold, which is a book written by Peter Diamandis and Stephen Kotler. I've read some of their works before and have really enjoyed them, and thus far really enjoying this book. The premise of the book, the underlying theme is go big or go home. Big thinking is really what's going to change the world. As a matter of fact, the subtitle is How to Go Big, Create Wealth, and Impact the World. Just a great book. They tell lots of stories, lots of anecdotes, present research on thinking big, and highlight four big thinkers. You've all heard of them. One is Richard Branson, of Virgin fame, just a great thinker, has really changed a lot of things, started in the music business and has just transformed a lot of different industries. The second is Jeff Bezos, Amazon fame, has really transformed online commerce. Third is Larry Page, Google, don't need to say any more about that, has really changed the face of search and how we learn on the internet. And the last one is Elon Musk of Tesla fame, has really changed the way that we look at electric vehicles and battery technology, and now is changing the way we think about space and space exploration. Just four great iconic thinkers highlighted in this book. But it was interesting because the authors brought home and really analyzed these thinkers and thought about and looked at how what commonalities they had and came up with eight different traits. Three are psychological traits and five are mental strategies. And I want to read them to you because I think they're important, and I think you'll find a common theme. And if you don't, I'll bring it home to you after I read them to you. The first strategy is risk taking and risk mitigation, knowing how to take risk and how to take educated risk and mitigated risk. Don't just bet the farm, but bet it in a controlled, risk tolerant manner. Second is rapid iteration and ceaseless experimentation. I think you see this with Elon Musk a lot, always pushing the envelope, always experimenting, always saying, what if? The third is passion and purpose. All four of those gentlemen exhibit that. Nothing else needs to be said there. The fourth is long-term thinking. How are you thinking? What's going to happen, not today, tomorrow, but 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 50 years from now? Real long-term critical thinking. The fifth is customer-centric thinking. What am I trying to sell and what does the customer want? Steve Jobs, another great thinker, was a master at this, figuring out what the customer wanted and needed. Not necessarily what the customer said, but what they wanted and needed. The sixth is probabilistic thinking. Probabilities. What's the probability of this happening, of that happening? And then coming up with a plan A, a plan B, a plan C. Really looking at the odds of something and really thinking about it critically. The seventh is rationally optimistic thinking. Always thinking positive, always thinking that something good is going to happen. Maybe not now, maybe not tomorrow, but eventually it's going to happen. And not being afraid of failure. Failure is your friend, and all of these guys embrace failure, but think optimistically. And the last is reliance on the fundamental truths, really understanding the truth about things, about people, and relying on that and knowing that ultimately people will be good and ultimately things will work out. Those 8 great principles are a common thread throughout all of these guys that you'll see. And, as I finish bold, I will bring other thoughts to you if I see them. But I'm just excited to be reading this book, excited to be learning about great thinkers. Go big or go home. But if you look at those 8 principles, 4 of them are about thinking. 4 of them are about how you think and critically thinking, innovatively thinking, disruptively thinking. That's how these 4 gentlemen have got big. That's how they've done it. They've been bold and they bet it all and they're winning. So, to wrap it up for you today, great book thus far. I'm really enjoying it. But the takeaway, go big or go home and think critically. Take care.